Hello everyone, welcome to the Sanya Bari channel where we talk about all things relationships. We are talking about a very important topic, the Karpman's drama triangle. Anybody who's in any kind of relationship needs to know about this. I remember hearing about it in grad school and I was like, whoa, this is a really essential part of some, and we have all done this. There's no one who's exempt. But this triangle is so strong that when it takes hold, it bypasses you. It bypasses what you really want. It bypasses you as an individual and other people as individuals. And so I'm going to give you some examples, and it has these three states that I'm going to talk about. The persecutor, as in somebody who's persecuting, somebody who's rescuing, and somebody who's being a victim. Now, it could be that there are people, what happens is that mostly people, according to their personality, will stay in victim more. Oh, this always happens to me. Oh, if my luck is the way it is, I'm just pulling through, those kinds of victim things. Oh, things always happen. Oh, go figure, this happens with me. All of these are victim stances. Persecutor stance is, you are doing this. This is your fault. You are, victim also says that, but this persecutor is like a bully. Not only does he blame, but he also controls and manages. And rescuer is many people like people-pleasing type people. I'll do it. I don't mind. It's okay. You can walk all over me. It's okay, that kind of a thing. So now people will many times be in one position as a general part of their personality. But then even within one argument, we can cycle through all of them. For example, I can start from here, rescuer. It's okay. I don't mind. I can do this. I can bake all these cookies. I'll do everybody's work. I'll do this. I'll do that. It's okay. I'll save you. And then this becomes old, because how long are you going to stay this? None of these are out of love. All of these are out of anxiety. I want to break this concept of love. People think that you are people pleasing out of anxiety. No, you are people pleasing out of your own anxiety to relieve yourself. You're not doing anyone a favor, and most importantly, you're not doing yourself a favor. The right thing to do is to never do anything that doesn't suit your dignity, that you don't actually want to do from the bottom of your heart. And I always identify the four manipulators. If you're doing anything for anyone out of guilt, because you're feeling guilty, out of over responsibility, which means doing for anybody, including your children, even including your 4-year-old child, 3-year-old child, that they can do for themselves. You're basically disabling them and enabling them for dependency. And then you're going to complain later. And they won't be able to rise up because you're breaking their legs that they need to walk on. This is a self-serving thing, to be overly dependent, taking over responsibility, waking up your adult children when it's time to go to school. These kinds of things. These are examples of when you have overstepped. Guilt, over responsibility, role playing. When I play a role as a mother, I'll force my child to play the role of a child. I'll never see the child as the individual that he is. I'll only see him as a role that I need to play for him, that I need him to play for me. And after years later, the child always knows, the husband, the wife, or whatever, they always know that you don't really love them for them. You only love them so that they can give you a version of themselves that is convenient for you. It is very hurtful. So don't do role playing. And it's very hurtful for the person who's doing it too, because you wake up at some part of your life and you realize that all you've done all your life is played roles rather than have deep, fulfilling relationships with people just as they are. Guilt, responsibility, role playing, transaction, doing something to get something. But this also is doing something, I'll do this for you so that you think I'm good, so that you want to be with me more, so that you love me more. That's a transaction. That is not love. I want to break this thing about people thinking all of these things are love. So this is the rescuer who says, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll do. So after they do all these things for these people, and obviously The amount the rescuer does because they do it out of anxiety is way too much. They should never do that. Eventually, either they're going to get angry and they're going to persecute people. I do all this for you. I do so much. You don't do anything. Well, did anybody ask you to do anything? And if they did, that doesn't mean you need to do it. Don't do anything that you're expecting back from. That's a transaction. Unless you have an agreement. Unless you have an agreement, and then you can come up, and that's not emotional. It is transactional. It comes from the brain and not the heart. So that's perpetrator. Or the rescuer can move into victim. Poor me. No one cares about me. The old grandma thing of, oh, when I die, you'll miss me, or you'll love me, or, that kind of a thing, that, oh, nobody cares about me, that kind of a thing. So we can move into all of these things within one conversation where we can stay there. For example, I could come as a victim into a conversation, a heated conversation, that, oh, you did this. Like, I'm feeling so hurt. And when the person they're not getting the right response, they can go and get angry and become persecutor. Or they can, if the person they are trying to guilt, because that's what victims do. They work on guilt. And all of us have done this. Listen, I'm not impervious to it, but I watch it like a hawk because I don't want this. I don't want a triangle controlling me. It's so demeaning. It's like, oh my God, I thought my arguments and the drama that I feel is something important, something very unique. But it's if you put it in a triangle, you don't want to be a part of a triangle. So I do this, and then they can, when they see that the person they are trying to persecute is doing too much, like they are suffering, or they say, oh no, you kid, you go ahead and you wake up on time. You do it yourself. And they see that the person is getting late in the first few days of waking up on their own, they'll try and rescue, and they'll kill the process. Because all of us, every single one of us, have to have pain, have to have suffering, have to have some kind of a thing that is important to us. Like, we need to have a little bit of pain, a little bit of trauma, a little bit of it has to be that we rise up. If somebody's rising up for us, then we've never learned anything. So that's what I'm saying, that that is their privilege of having that problem. You don't come and you rescue them. So that's how you do it through the victim. And so how do you get out of victim? And what do you say? I told you the kinds of things that you say as a victim. Oh, poor me. No one loves me. You guys don't care about me. You guys never give me presents. I do so much around the house. You never do anything for me. Or, and rescuer will be a person who overdoes, and they'll say, in a couplehood, a rescuer will always come to me and say that I do so much for this person. I do so much, and he does nothing for me. First of all, you might be a person who likes to do a lot of things. There are people who want to live in this world with different levels of engagement. Maybe you're a person who likes to be fully engaged. I am. I'm that person. I like to explore everything. Every single moment of my life is full on. But I'm definitely going to choose a partner who's going to be a lot more muted, because that is how things go. You always get into relationships with partners that balance you. So most often, this is what happens, that your partner is going to be a little bit different from you in these things. But what I want to tell you is that the way to that's what the rescuer will say. The persecutor will many times blame people, but many times control. The control is the biggest thing, that you do this, you do that, you don't do this, like that kind of a thing. Getting angry and stuff, it has a lot of anger in it. How do you get out of each one of these states? You become aware that you're in one of these states. This is why this video is so important. It's such important knowledge, that if you just become aware that I'm doing this, and you just let go of the control in each, because this is a control triangle. You control from each state. You control. A victim has a lot of control. People don't see that. This is something people think the only control is here in the persecutor. Victim has a lot of control. And this is why people stay in victimhood for so long, and they don't get up and they don't take responsibility for what they need to fix in their lives. And I have been here. So I'm not trying to talk from up here. I'm talking to you from down here, that this is the human experience. And rescuer is the same thing. That the rescuer controls so that they can control how much people care about them and those kinds of things. So to let go of control, and to whatever anxiety is coming up for you in each of these things, to feed that to yourself rather than trying to get it from other people, other things, other situations. I'll tell you that there are a lot of people that will come to me and they'll say, oh, I don't really, that's not my problem. I don't even care about people. Then they'll do this entire triangle with things and transactions, with things and situations. So I really hope this helps. I hope that, this video goes with that video that I just made about how to save your relationship. So please, bring these things in your life and stop suffering. It is within your control to stop suffering. We cannot control what happens to us, but we are able to control where we file it, what we do with it, how we respond to it. We are in control about what we want to feel about what is happening to us. This is Existential Philosophy by Viktor Frankl, existential psychology. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you're going to reach out if there's any questions that are coming up. If you want to be a part of the show that I do, and if you want to have live coaching that helps hundreds of people, then contact me, or even with questions, contact me by emailing me at sanyabari.com. And I reply to them, and it'll be very confidential if you do that. Well, I really hope this helps, and love and light to all of you from my heart to yours. Take care and goodbye.